Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mr. Cheap Sense here. Just really want to do a quick review and give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on here in Georgia. Right now there's not really much going on by the way of any major weather changes. It's still off the coast of Florida right now. If you haven't been watching the news, but Florida, even on the west coast side of Florida, they're getting heavy rains, winds, and this thing is like 100 and I think they said like 130 miles offshore. It's right over the Grand Bahamas right now, just sitting. But Florida is still getting, beat up a little bit, and it should hopefully start making that turn coming up the coast. But for the most part, thanks to everybody who's been checking up on me, making sure I'm okay. I'm fine. Like I said, no significant change right now in the weather. We have been getting bands of rain, like off and on. Like it'll rain for a few minutes and then it'll stop. Nothing heavy, just light rain. No winds yet, but it is what it is. So yesterday, or last night I should say, I stepped out for a little while and I decided to wear a fragrance that actually was given to me by a subscriber, and it is Pineapple Vintage, and came with the full box presentation and everything, but I didn't keep the box, I don't think. But anyway, this is the bottle, and smelling it out of the bottle, like out of the atomizer, it smells great. But when I sprayed it on my skin, something funny was going on with it. It doesn't smell the way it smells coming out of the atomizer, just smelling it through the atomizer. It smells sour and off-putting, like it's gone bad or something. And I haven't had it in the heat. It stays in my room on the shelf, and my shelf is nowhere near a window or a door. My AC is always on, so it's constantly cool in here. It just smells off-putting and sour, like something's wrong with it. But it didn't smell like this when I first got it in the mail. So it's just off-putting a little bit. But whatever the case may be, I decided to spray something on top of it, and it is Insurrection 2 or Insurrection Pure 2. And this is the one with the pineapple that's supposed to be somewhat of a clone of Aventus. I actually sprayed this on top of it, and I mean, as it dries down, it gets a little better, but it's just off-putting right now, like something is bad. But I sprayed this on top of it, and it kind of balanced out a little bit. I did get a compliment while wearing this, but just wearing the Pineapple Vintage by itself, I don't know what the deal is with this fragrance. I don't know if it's, because air got into it or what has happened, but it's just not the same. Whatever the case may be, it's kind of off-putting, like something's bad about this fragrance. I don't know. But regardless to the fact, that's what I wore last night. Somebody asked me a question when I was going to do a review on, when I was going to do a review on those Dollar Tree fragrances. And my answer to that is a two-part answer. And the first part of that answer is, I have already done, I think 2, maybe 3 first impression videos on some Dollar Tree fragrances. One of them was a Blue de Chanel cologne. I think another one was a Ed Hardy and something else, CH Men or something like that. I can't remember what they were, but I actually have owned at least 4 or 5 of those different fragrances, and on initial spray, all of them smell exactly like what they're supposed to be copying their rendition of, or their version of whatever it says on the box. They smell like the actual cologne is mimicking, like on first spray, and then almost simultaneously, instantly, it just goes away. You don't smell anything. And it's not even worth it to me to even waste $1 and some change on those fragrances, even going through all of that. Now, you're more than welcome to go to the Dollar Tree. They have them sitting on a shelf. No cellophane. You can just go in, open a box up, spray it, whatever you want to do. To me, it's not even worth going there and checking them out. Unless you just that hard up for money to where you can't even spend, $10, $15, $20, even $5 to $7 for a fragrance, and get something a little more decent than those. Something is really wrong. I won't even say something is really wrong. I just say you can do a little bit better than those Dollar Tree fragrances, because they don't last at all, my guy. And somebody did a video. I guess they were trolling, but they did a video where they went to the Dollar Tree and bought some Dollar Tree fragrances and tested them out and all of that. And like I said, for the first second or two when you first spray them, they smell great, and then they just die off instantly. So whatever the video was that this guy put out, and he did the Dollar Tree fragrances, and he said that they smelled good and all this kind of stuff. Fall for the okie doke if you want to, but you just really be wasting your time. There are a lot of people trolling out here that are mad because of this, or jealous because of that, or just have a totally different agenda. I'm not in this thing to try to steer anybody wrong. It's only $1. I mean, if you want to go spend $1 on those type fragrances, then go right ahead. But I'm telling you right now, for me personally, they don't last. I've sprayed them on my skin. I've sprayed them on paper. I've sprayed them on cardboard. I've tested them. And I mean, as soon as I spray them, they smell good for that instant, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. So, I mean, why even keep wasting your time trying to reapply all day long that same fragrance when, you can buy something $20 like this that smells great, has a great pineapple note in it, that I know at least can get you about 2 hours of projection, maybe 4.5, 5 hours, depending on, skin chemistry and all that good stuff, longevity, and not bad at all. Excuse me, guys. Man, it's nap time. I've been sitting up watching the news all day, and I got kind of bored. But yeah, I don't think those Dollar Tree fragrances are worth even looking into, guys. So don't even waste your time. I know the person who said that earlier may have been kidding around, but I'm being honest and upfront. They're not worth even going to check on. I think I did find one that came from the Dollar Tree that was pretty good, but I didn't realize that it was a woman's fragrance. It smells unisex, but it smells kind of like a Calvin Klein fragrance that I own. What is it? CK2, I think it is. The one that comes with the little thing. You stick the fragrance in and it looks funny. It kind of reminds me of that. But for the most part, try to stay away from them Dollar Tree fragrances, man. It's not worth it. Don't fall for the okie doke just because this certain person has a bunch of subscribers and is well known in the fragrance community. Don't let them troll you into doing some stupid shit, man. It's not even worth going through all of that. Um, I don't see why people can't just be men and agree to disagree instead of doing a bunch of trolling and a bunch of stupid, dumb shit. But it is what it is. Some people will never grow up, and that's just the way it is. But that's about all I have for you guys right now. Oh, let me talk about one other fragrance. I actually have a few that Big Beard Business talked about in one of his reviews, and I think it was an older review. And he said that he had, I think it was 10 fragrances that are out of date or out of style now or something like that. And one of the fragrances that he talked about was this guy. And it is Ferragamo F Black, or F by Ferragamo, or however you say it. But when I first came into the fragrance game, people were talking about this fragrance a lot. People talked about what's another one? Mont Blanc's Individual, Star Walker, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I guess when times change, fragrances changed, all of a sudden everybody is like, F Black sucks, it's generic, it's synthetic, it's this, it's that, and Mont Blanc Individual smells like, dishwashing liquid or laundry detergent or fabric softener or whatever you want to call it. Listen, I get what people are saying. I have nothing against Big Beard Business or much less any other fragrance reviewer, because we all do the same thing. We all have difference in opinions also. And I'm not going to sit on here and hype this and make it seem like this is one of the greatest fragrances that is out here, because it's not. But I will say that for some people who are getting into the fragrance game, who can't or don't want to spend a whole lot of money on those expensive fragrances like Pineapple Vintage, even though this one is, I don't know what the deal is with this one, but even though this one is what it is right now, these are not cheap. And I don't recommend that, if you're just getting into the fragrance game, unless you have that kind of money to go out and buy that type of fragrance, don't start off with something like that. If you're a low end or low budget fragrance collector, or you just getting into the game and you want to get something decent to start off a collection, something like this is not bad, man. For real. This is not an everyday fragrance. You only wear this special occasions. It does have like some pepper and all that good stuff, but it's not bad. And for people, I know their palate changes over time, but for some people, us as reviewers, we don't need to downplay a lot of fragrances like this. Yes, they may be dated to some people, but to some people, when they get their nose on it, they may think it's a pretty damn good fragrance. I actually see nothing wrong with it. I'm pretty sure on certain occasions you can pull this off with, some kind of dress wear, casual, formal, whatever. But I'm not gonna sit on here and tell somebody that they shouldn't buy this when it's not a bad fragrance still today, and it's very inexpensive. Yes, there are things that are way better, or much better, I should say, than this one, that smell similar to it or smell better than this. But for the most part, some people may not be willing to pay an extra $1 or $2 or however much else extra you're going to have to pay for it, when you can just recommend this one for about 14-15 bucks, or the 100 ml for 20 bucks, and still have a decent fragrance. So be weary sometimes when you look at some of these fragrance reviews and out of date reviews and out of style and all this kind of stuff. Not saying that they're not legit, they don't have great points, but sometimes you have to overlook those kind of videos so you won't get deterred, because some of these old fragrances like this are still pretty damn good. The Dreamer by Versace, a lot of people don't like it, and I actually was one of them who didn't like it, and I actually sprayed it last night just to test it again to see. And it is kind of dated, but it's not bad. It's really not that bad. Finding an occasion to wear it is where most people would have a problem. And I would suggest maybe like church, weddings, like formal events where you have to kind of dress up a little bit, suit, tie, or vest and tie, shirt, something like that, some slacks, or maybe some jeans and a button up, something like that. But this is not like an everyday wear, like to work. Maybe if you're a businessman and you want to, be in a suit, you're in a suit or whatever, then yeah, you probably could pull this off, but don't overspray. 1 or 2 sprays of this is more than enough, because it is kind of loud, but it's still nice, regardless as to what anybody else says. It's not a bad fragrance. So that's what we're here for. We're here to steer and guide people and not try to deter them from buying something. Because just because I might say, just use this for example, I don't like this, and I'm not going to jump on here and say, well, I don't think anybody else should buy it because yada, yada, yada. Because the next person who picks up a sample of this or buys a bottle of this, they may love it. So I'm not going to sit here and say don't buy this. I will say don't waste your time with those Dollar Tree fragrances because they don't last long. But it is what it is, guys. It's your money. You do what you want to do with it. Like I said, I'm just here to guide. I'm not here to like grab you by the back of your neck and force you to smell this and say you're going to get this and don't fuck with that. No, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I guess I'm going to fix me old PB&J strawberry peanut butter. Strawberry peanut butter. Strawberry jelly and peanut butter. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. I will continue to give you guys update whenever the weather changes. I'm going to try to bring you a video when we're in the middle of whatever is going to happens here, and let you guys know what's going on. Thanks once again for all the love and support. Keep telling people about your boy. Like the video to let YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. Let's keep getting those subscribers rolling in so we can get this 1,000 subscribers and get this live feed going again. And I am out of here. Here's to smelling good. Peace.